everyone, welcome and thank you for joining our today's webinar about how to use Monday.com advanced features. My name is Taheri and I am the product support specialist at Eligeo. Today we want to cover some of the advanced features of Monday.com about form view, connected boards and mirror columns, and Gantt widgets. And at the end, we have 5 minutes for our QA session. And that's why please feel free to add your question in the chat box below. And at the end, I will address your questions. And also I add our calendar link in the chat box below. And you can just copy that link and schedule a meeting with us to review any question you might have about these features or any other question that you might have about Monday.com. Awesome. Now is the time for our demo time. Let's get started without further ado. Let's share my screen. Okay. And for the purpose of our today's webinar, I've chose the project management workflow to show you how this feature works and show you the functionality and use cases of these features. But please note, these are not limited only to project management workflow. You can use them for different departments, can be marketing team, creative team, or HR and finance. It's not limited to project management. And then here, first, I want to talk about form features. And then at the first, we have our form features. To add the form features to your boards, first you need to create your board that you want to gather all the requirements, let's say for project, or if you are needing to gather your information for your projects. We can use these forms for different purposes. It can be internal or external. There is no limitation with that. The only thing that you need to do, just create your board and add the columns that you want to gather the information. For example, if you need your client information, their email address, their request statuses, or if they need to upload forms. Once you add all these columns, what you need to do, you just need to go on the top. There is a plus icon, just add that and add the form view. Once you add the form view, you can see all the fields represent your columns on your board. You can just add all the fields that you have in here, and you can share this link with your clients. What you need to do to share this link, you just need to click on the share form, and you can copy this link and just share it with your clients. It can be via email, or you can embed this link on your website. For example, they can see that as a project, name of the project, it can be project 1, your client name, Taheri, email address, .com, and the rest of the information. Once they fill out the information, they can submit the form. You can customize this message. You can redirect them to your website. There is lots of customization that you can make it based on your workflow. And then once you go back to your board, you can see, if you go to main table, you can see the new request, project A, Taheri submit that request and email address and all the information they need. And right from here, you can manage your incoming requests. And these can be any request. As I've mentioned, you can use that workflow for your ticketing system. You can use it for gathering survey for your client or for your team members. And if you want to do more customization for your forms, you just need to go back to your form view. And if you click on the share form, on the top, you have all the tabs for your settings. And if you click on the build tab, here you can see all your questions on your form. What you can do, for example, let's say request status is the column that you need on your board, but is more internal and you don't want your clients to see that questions or this field. What you can do, just click on it and just hide the question from this form. And also you have other options right from here. You don't need to go back to your board to add new question. Right from here, you can add new question. For example, you can add multi-select questions to your board. And once you add that, you can create all the items for your multi-select. And also you can create conditional forms. And for example, I want to create option A, option B, and option C for my question. And then here you can put your question. And here there is an option that you can include the condition. You can make this question required, and they cannot submit their form unless they fill out this question. And also you can include the condition for your form. For example, if the answer of your client is A, then you can put another question. For example, short text. It can be, for example, you can put additional information is required. And then you can add that to your form. And also, if you want, you can make this question also as a required and add another condition questions. There is no limitation with the number of questions that you can have in here. And also you can customize it right from here. You can change the background color. You can change the layer of your forms, layout of your forms, and if you want to change the font of your forms. And right on the top, you can add your logo. And also you have automation, all the customization on the top. That's you have access to the free version. You can test work forms of Monday.com, which is one of their new products. You have lots of customization, and also they have a paid version. For example, if you need access to the conditional forms, conditional questions, and embedding your link to your website. That's all you need to know about your forms and how you can gather all the requests from your clients. Now I want to talk about Connect Board and the use case of Connect Board. Let's say you are managing different projects and you want to see high-level information of your project in one board, or you want to pull out a report for your VPs or C-level managers. They don't need to go to the details of all of your projects. For example, on Project A board, I am managing my Project A, and I have all the phases, for example, planning, execution, and launch. And here I adding and tracking all the details about my project, all the tasks that I need to do, the status of each task, the timeline, budget, and all the information that I need. And I have the same structure for my project B. And same layout, I just call each item as an item. In project A was task, here is item. But the same structure, you need to track a status, timeline, budget for your project. But to pulling out the reports for your managers or seeing a high-level view of your project, you don't need to go to all your project and see a specific detail that you need. That's why I create the portfolio management board. This board, that's a high-level view board. I just add my project name in here instead of task for each project. And I want to see just a high-level view of my project that I'm managing. And to do that, here are my upcoming projects that they are coming from my project request board, the form that you gather all your information, and here all of your current project A and project B in this example. For example, to create the Connect board column, we just need to click on the plus icon in here and click on the Connect board. Once you click on it, you need to select the board that you want to connect to this board. In my example, as I mentioned, I want to select project A and project B. And at the end, you have this option. It asks you if you want to create a two-way connection. That means if you change any information on project A or B, will reflect on your portfolio management board as well, which I want. I just select that and create my connect board. And here you have the option to create another column, which is mirror column. Mirror column is reflect a specific information about different columns on another board. For example, I'm adding that mirror column. For example, let's say I want to see the status of my project for my project A and project B. And you have this option, you can select all the labels or just all the completed items. So I want to see all the labels for my status columns. I just select that. And then after we add this mirror column, you don't have any limitation for the number of mirror column that you want to add. For example, if you want to see the status of your project, if you want to see the budget of your project, or if you want to see project manager for your project, there is no limitation. Let's see here, I add my connect board, and here I can, for my project A, I need to select the item that I want to see. For example, once I click on it, first, because I connect this item, which is my project A, to multiple boards, my project A and project B, first I need to select my project. I want to see information from my project A. And then I have to select the item that I want to see. I want to see the status of all of my items. For example, task 1, 2, 3. And then you just easily select all the tasks that you want to see their status. I've already selected all of my tasks. And then once you select all of your tasks, you can see the status of all of your tasks in your mirror column, which is a status of my items in my project B. And here you can see number of board that you connect, number of items that you connected. I have 9 items, and if you click on this circle, you can see all of your items. And let's say you want to customize some of the information on your project A. What you need to do, for example, if you want to review your task 2, you just need to click on this expand icon, and then you have access to your item queue right from your portfolio management, and you can see all the information, and you can customize information. For example, if the project profit for project A is 800,000, what you want to do, just want to change that to $900,000. And if you any changes made in here will be reflected on your project A and B board. This is one thing, and you can have everything right from here. Let's say I want to add another mirror column. As I mentioned, you don't have limitation. You just need to just rename these title of your columns. And I want to collect to another column. I just want to select my board, connect board, and these are all of your columns from project A that you can select. For example, let's say I want to see timeline for my project A, and also I want to see timeline for my project B. And then I can add that, and here I can see the timeline. I have 91 days to start and complete my project A. Once you finish that, you've done all the setup once, and once you go to the next item for project B, you again need to select your project. It's going to be my project B, and then you can select all the items that you want to pull out the information. And the great thing, this time you don't need to do any customization because you already set up your status column and your timeline column. and you can see easily all the information, all the statuses for all of your items from your project board, project A and project B. You can see all of them in a high glance in your portfolio management board. And the great thing, if you click on each status, is that you can see number of items that you completed, and it's 50% of your project. It gives you more data, and it helps with your decision-making process. And this is the use case of seeing all the details of your project in high-level view in portfolio management board. Let's say see what's the use case of connected board in low-level board, for example, in your project A. If you scroll to the right, and you can see your connect board, it says link to the portfolio management. Once you click on the connect two ways, it's already create the connect board on your project A and B as well. And here you need to add your mirror column again to reflect the information that you want to see. And then here I want to select my mirror column. And this time, as a project manager, what is important for me, I want to see, for example, what's my project budget, and I want to see sum. You can have this different function, but I want to select sum. And right from here, we can see the project budget that you have to complete this project. This is reflected from your portfolio management board, and you can have all this customization. You can add as many mirror columns as you want, and also select the information that you want. Let's go to our project B. Here we have the same thing, but this time I'm going to add another mirror column to my project B. And instead of project budget, I want to see who's the project manager. In this case, I add all of them to myself. But if you have different project manager on your items or your project, you can see all the people associated with that specific items. This is the use case of Connect Board. You can use if you need to create a workflow for cross-functional features, if you need to work between different departments. It can be a good use case for CRM if you want to reflect information, for example, for your contact or lead board to your account board. That's a great use case of Connect Board. And please feel free to test that and let us know if you have any questions. And the last feature that I want to cover today is Gantt widget. That it's great way to visualize your information when you are using it as a project manager, or if you are managing any task that you have dependency or you have a specific timeline. I've already added that for the purpose of today's webinar, but if you want to add Gantt widget to your workflow, what you need to do, you have to go on the top and click on the add. And here you have the option that you can add new dashboard. Once you add your new dashboard, this is the dashboard view that you have. On the top, you have add widget, and you can select the Gantt. And if you go to the more widget, you can explore all the different widgets that are available that you can add to and use it for reporting purposes or visualizing your data and sharing with your team members. Here I've already added my Gantt view. Again, I'm using my project A and project B example to visualize the information in here. First, I want to show it to a full screen. And here, these three dots, you have access to your settings. Whenever you add your widget to your dashboard, first thing that you want to do is select your board, because based on the plan tier that you are on, if it's pro or enterprise, you have limitation of how many boards that you can connect to your widget. For example, for this example, first I want to select my boards. I'm working on project A and project B. That's why I want to select project A and project B for the visualizing my data from these two boards. Once you select your board, I recommend go and select your groups from each board. You can select, for example, only planning. If you have same structure for your project that you are managing, you can just select planning from planning group from each board, or you can select all your group from two of your projects. I go with all groups. And then you can scroll on the top. You need to visualize this information. You usually need timeline column, and also it's good to have dependency column. If you have dependency in your workflow, you can add a status column and people column. And I've already added my timeline for my project. You just need to select that. And the good thing about Gantt widget is that you can also present and visualize your information for sub item as well. For example, for my project A, I need to select the timeline for my project A and timeline for my project B and for my sub items. And then after that, you can group the information. Group the information is represent all the information on your left panel. Right now, I am grouping my information by my status column. For example, I can see all the items that I have with the working on it status, all the items with done and stock and future steps. But the good thing, based on your workflow, you have this option that you can select different columns. You can group your items based on different groups. For example, you can select people column. If you have different team members that they are working on your project, you can group your information based on the people column. Or you can group them by board. For example, I have two boards here, project A and project B, and I can see all my items that I'm managing in each of my boards. And almost you have access to all of your columns, and you can just select which column best fits to your current workflows. I keep working with the status column to see my items based on status. And then for each of your board, you need to select. If you have multiple, for example, a status column, you just need to select the status column that you want to visualize in here. And then you can label your item. Label represent all the information that you can see for each of your items. You can go with the group, you can go with the people name. For example, you can, if I select people, you can see Cathy Taheri is working on this item, or you can go, for example, with the group. For example, this item is related to planning stage. This one is related to, for example, launch stage. This is all about label. And then you have view setting. Here you can, if you have dependency, if I unselect that, there is no dependency in here. If you define your dependency and use dependency column, just can select show dependency. And you can see all the dependency, how items are connected to each other, and visualize dependency on your Gantt widget. You have your show group summary. You can see the summary on each line. You can show it or you can unselect that. I prefer to have that. You have show today's indication. It shows your today's indication. You can remove that or keep it. Show weekend, or if you want, you can remove weekends. And show column legend. It shows you, for example, if you are late, baseline. I'm gonna just cover this feature in a few seconds about our baseline. It shows you if you are late on your project, on time, or right on the plan. This is all of just viewing the information. And then we have our critical path. This is great feature that you want to use. And if you click on the show critical path, it's just show your, if you have critical path based on dependency, and if delay of one of your items, completion of one of your tasks or items effect on other tasks, it's gonna highlight that path in red. That is great feature to use. And also we have our baseline. Baseline, I've already added that. If you see these gray items and green and red items, these are all my baselines. What it does, for example, when you click on that, add a new snapshot, it takes a screenshot of your current planning, of your current schedule. And if it's gray, this is my current schedule. And if I behind of it, it shows in a red, that means I'm behind of my schedule. If it's green, that means I'm right on the plan or I'm ahead of my plan. And you can see all the labels in here. And the great thing is that it's very responsive. For example, you can easily remove that, move the items and just change the timeline. And it reflects on your board. For example, if you put it in the back, it still is green because you are ahead of on your schedule. And if you put it, move it further, that shows you are behind of your schedule. And the great thing, because you define your dependency, it shows all of that, the future, how it affects your future items and tasks and timeline. Everything is automatic. You don't need to do anything. And then we almost covered everything about Gantt widget, and these are all the settings about your Gantt widget. If you click on it, you can close your setting. On the top, you can select your timeline, for example, days, quarter, years, and you have your filters. And the last thing that you want to know is that if you go to your project and your board level, if you want, you have the option to add Gantt widget as a board view, same as the form. What you need to do, just click on the plus icon on the top and just click on the Gantt widget. And it shows all the information about one project only, and you can manage all your project visually by using Gantt widget. I would say that's all about main features, main point about advanced feature of monday.com that I wanted to cover for our today's webinar.